couple years ago, we went to pick up this little guy from daycare, and the daycare informed us that they had dropped him on his head, and he had a concussion and some fractured skull and some bleeding on the head, so we had to take him to the hospital.
From that moment, we spent the next 2 years getting him, evaluated, seen by certain doctors, just to ensure that he was, there was no long-term effects or even short-term effects. So having to watch him, get all the poking and probing and all the evaluations and all the tests that he had to go through, it was a very stressful time, not just for us, but for Camden as well.
Austin came personally. It wasn't his staff that came to see me to fill out the report. He came personally to visit with me and sit down with me and kind of go over, who he was, introduce himself, and learn about the case.
The case ended up taking just under 3 years to get to a resolution. The disappointing part about this whole thing was that the insurance company that covered the daycare, despite the overwhelming evidence of negligence on the part of the daycare, they offered us $0 before we filed a lawsuit. While we're a pretty good sized firm, we're not nearly as big as some of the firms that somebody might see on TV, and I think that's actually a really big advantage for people like Camden's family. They come to us and they are not just a number. We are able to analyze the specifics of a complex case like Camden's and push it towards a resolution that is very just for the family.
We always felt like we could call whenever, ask any questions. If we were having a bad day because of it, it was always kind of that family feel where we could just message them and they would kind of give us that sense of comfort to get us through the whole thing.
They would call not just to check up on the case, they called to check up on Camden, and that was really important to us.
We created a bond with this family that I'm not going to forget. I think that we count ourselves as friends at this point after being together working on this case for 3 years. And I will want to follow how Camden is doing for the rest of my life. We put in the work that was required to get a just outcome for Camden's family, and I am proud of the work that we put in.